It happens to everybody that sometimes you come back to your car and you find that some arsehole has scraped along your vehicle. Now, this is bad news and good news. The bad news is, more than likely, it has damaged the clear coat underneath. But the good news is, generally you can fix it to such a level that it's completely gone, or you won't notice it. Now, a lot of this is down to how fast the vehicle was going, because it'll generate more heat which can damage the clear coat, and also the material that was dragged across. So looking at the damage here, this looks like it was the wing mirror of a car or something like that, and with that being plastic it's much softer, so more than likely that's transferred on here. But like I say, underneath it will be micro scratches. So in this video I'm going to show you how we can fix this, and also I'm going to cover a little bit about dual action polishers as well. So here is what we're going to need for this fix. We're going to use isopropanol, and we're going to have a mix of isopropanol as well at 30%, a polishing cloth and a more rigid microfiber, dual action polisher, a cutting compound, and then a medium cut pad. Now the first thing I want to do before I even start any work here, I want to thoroughly clean this surface. Because I'm going to be using a dual action polisher, I don't want to be grinding in any dirt, which is just going to cause more scratches on the paintwork. So I'm going to use a wash mitt, and we're just going to thoroughly clean the area. And you'll see even this will start to bring some of the mark off, but you can see clearly, you'd have to put some real strength to actually remove that, which we don't want to do. So after the cleaning, you can see quite clearly it's still quite a mark there. So we're going to move to the next stage now. I'm going to use an isopropanol mix. I'm going to try at 30% first, and then I'm going to move on to 100% if needed, and that will help break down this plastic that has been abraded onto the surface. So just a case of spraying it liberally, and now gently with a microfiber cloth we work this in and just work backwards and forwards. So this will probably take 5 minutes or so, and then I'll come back and show you where we got just with the isopropanol. Okay, so I finished with the isopropanol, and it's removed the majority, but you can see if we get close, it's still here. I could work much longer with the isopropanol, but I prefer to use the dual action. So that's going to be my next step. So now we're on to the stage with the dual action polisher, and I want to explain now a little bit about a dual action. Now, a lot of people could be tempted to buy a cheap rotary or even an expensive rotary. Now, if you're really experienced, a rotary is good, you can get the job done even quicker. But the problem is with a rotary, there's a chance you could easily burn your paintwork. So a dual action tends to move the head in a figure of 8, and if you put too much pressure it will actually stop it moving altogether. So it's a really safe way of polishing your car. So I would say stick to a DA, and if you really want to, move on to a rotary later if you wish. So all I'm going to do is put a few drops of polish, and then when I put it to the car I'm just going to dab it onto all of the area that I'm going to polish. Now this is going to be tricky because I don't have a tripod, so the idea is I put this onto a really slow speed to blend this in, and then I'm going to polish this out. So now you can see we've gone over with the polisher and literally everything is gone now. It's smooth, and you can also see I'm getting a reflection of myself as well, so it's really nice and polished. So my next step is I need to remove all of the excess compound that I've put on there. So I'm going to use the isopropanol just at the 30%. Here we go. So I'm just going to again spray with the isopropanol and then give it a wipe over. And now you can see it's gleaming, a perfect fix. Now obviously the damage to my vehicle there was fairly minor, so you saw it was really quick. It took, with that dual action, it took maybe 1 minute just of backwards and forwards to actually fix that problem. Sometimes the damage to the clear coat is a little bit more, and you've just got to work a little bit longer with that dual action, so you may have to apply a little bit more polish. But you see there, it's a nice simple fix. We must now give the car a thorough clean, so I'm going to use a snow foam. Okay, so I'm going to cover the car in snow foam, then I'm going to clean it in the normal way. But the final thing you must do, on the area that you have done that polishing, you have removed any waxes or anything you have on the car. So you either want to just wax that area if the rest of your car is fine, or do a full wax or treatment that you usually do on your car to re-protect that paintwork.